राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे राधा जमसुंदरा जमसुंदरा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा Anande, Hare Go, Jamo, Vishnupat, Brahmant, Parivraj, Kaja, Rashtrottara, Satasri, Srimad, Juvangasi, Bhaktivedanta, Sanskrupa, Vijay. Jamo, Vishnupat, Brahmant, Parivraj, Kaja, Rashtrottara, Satasri, Srimad, Juvangasi, Bhakti Siddhanta, Thakur Goswami, Prabhupada, Vijay. अनंत कोटि वैष्णवंद की जय नमाचार्य दास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगमय यमुनमय की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल All reach to assemble Hare Krishna. All reach to assemble Hare Krishna. All reach to assemble Hare Krishna. All reach, all reach, all reach, all reach. Shri Guru and Gauranga. Gopal Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnaయ Bhutale. श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधराम नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Thank you all for joining. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, the opulence of the Absolute, verse number 38. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. हरि ओम तत्सत्. दण्डो दमयतामस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानाम् ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम् दण्डो दमयतामस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम् दण्डो दमयतामस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम्. Ranga Prabhu, if you want to recite, you can go ahead. You're unmuted. Anybody else want to?
Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Prabhu, today.
Okay.
Voice is a little wide. I think signal is not good, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it not
Is
clear?
it?
Full volume. On full volume.
Yeah, I think so. Is it right, everybody? All Prabhus?
Hold on. Everybody is able to hear?
Able
Yeah,
to hear.
I can hear you, but I think it is cutting off. Maybe Zoom has some problem.
Okay.
It's a matter of
Okay, hold on
the
then.
problem, yeah.
I think, hold on, then I'll stop sharing. Will it not be better? How about now? Better? Okay. Yeah, okay. Word to word, 1038, chapter 10, verse number 38, we're reading. Word to word. Danda, punishment. Damayatam, of all means of suppression. Asmi, I am. Niti, morality. Asmi, I am. Jigishatam, of those who seek victory. Maunam, silence. Cha, and. Eva, also. Asmi, I am. Guhyanam, of secrets. Gnanam, knowledge. Gnana Vatam, of the wise. Aham, I am. Translation by Juvenges A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shubhopad Ki Jai. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. And of the wise, I am the wisdom. Please repeat. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. And of the wise, I am the wisdom. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. I'll try to understand this verse. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। So we're in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna begins. The middle 6 chapters are predominantly the devotional service to the Supreme Lord has been stressed, bhakti. First 6 chapters more towards the performing activities, karma has been stressed. Gradually, karma to nishkama karma, and then nishkama karma to Bhagavad Arpita nishkama karma, offering the results to Lord Krishna and performing activity, and finally come to the develop the quality of Jnanadhikari, so that we can understand the transcendental knowledge. Unless we come to the Nishkama Karma, it becomes very difficult. It doesn't sink into our heart, the knowledge we receive. So that's why Lord Krishna starts with Karma Yoga, first 6 chapters mainly, middle 6 chapters Bhakti, and then last 6 chapters again to develop detachment internally. So Lord Krishna emphasizes on Jnana Yoga. Now we are in the middle 6 chapters. We are in the 10th chapter, Opulences of the Absolute. Lord Krishna stresses in this chapter, from 7th chapter itself, Krishna is stressing again and again about the process of hearing, which is Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Bhuyev Mahabaho, Srunume Paramam Vacha, Yatteham Priyamanaya Vaksham Hita Kami. For your own benefit, O Arjuna, please hear attentively. In the 7th chapter beginning also, Lord Krishna is stressing. 9th chapter also Krishna is stressing again and again is Tasrunu, 7th chapter, first verse. Sri Bhagavan Vach Maya Sakta Mana Partha. If you want to develop attachment to me, Asakti, Yogam Injan Madashraya, Asamsayam Samagram Yata Gnasa Tasrunu. You must hear from me. This is for your own benefit. Now, this 10th chapter we discuss many verses. So broadly, this chapter is categorized as 1 to 7 as Krishna is the source of everything, and 8 to 11 is Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita. 4 verses gives everything about whole essence of Bhagavad Gita, the Chatusloki Bhagavad, that is in this chapter, important verses. Then third section is 12 to 15, Arjuna's glorification of Supreme Lord's position. After understanding, till now, Arjuna still surrendered to Lord Krishna, but he never finally confirmed his understanding of Lord Krishna. So this is the first time after hearing Lord Krishna's opulences, especially Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is confirming that the Supreme Lord's position and is quoting the also sages who has confirmed that position. And then the fourth section is 16 to 18, Arjuna's questions. Arjuna asks now, Kechu Bhaveshu Parichantayan, how I am going to think? You are telling me to think of you, remember you, offer obeisance to me, worship me. How I can do that? On day-to-day basis, how I can see things and then remember you. As because the 9th chapter ending, Manmana Madbhakto Madhyas Imam Namaskuru. Mame Vaisas Atyante Pratiyane Priyosme. 4 things you must do for most confidential knowledge. Just think of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me, worship me. So how one can do that? Arjuna is asking that question in the 4th section. Then Krishna said, all right, I'm going to describe my opulences so that by seeing what is there in this material world, various capacities, various strengths, so then you can remember immediately that it is represented by me because I have empowered. So that's why that quality you are seeing in this material world in someone or in some mountain or some bird, some animal, something or other. So Krishna talks about all those in different shape and form, different living species. So it's not just human beings, not just demigods, not just it's also demons. So he's talking about all examples in this, the last section, 19 to 42. We are in the last 5th section of this chapter, Lord Krishna's opulences. Now today's verse is speaking 4 things, 4 lines, speaking about 4 aspects. So we'll discuss the examples and then what is our instruction for us. Dando Damayatam Asmi, Niti Rasmi Jigishatam, Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam, Gnanam Gnanavatam. The first line is telling that among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am the punishment, danda. So that means it is not one who is religious, so one will receive punishment. We will see the examples. Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll see that there are so many examples throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, but we'll see some of the examples. We'll look at the example of Kaliya, how Lord Krishna gave punishment to Kaliya, how he became to that position, how he became Kaliya, how he became a snake, that also we'll see. Then we'll look at Parikshit Maharaj chastising, punishing the Kali. The Kali Yuga beginning, starting, there's a personality also. Personality of Kali has entered at that time. Lord Krishna's pastimes are about to, Lord Krishna is about to go back to his eternal place. The sound is coming. Okay. So that time Kali appeared to, so then, and then he, cow or bull, 3 of the legs were broken and crying. Mother Earth was crying, bull, or crying, Dharma personified. So the conversation between them, their discussion has been given, and Ajamil's pastime, where Yamaraj and the Vishnu Dutas, not Yamaraj, Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas, there is a conversation, and they try to catch hold of Ajamil to take to the hellish planets. Then Vishnu Dutas ask, who can be punishable? Because in the first line, Krishna is speaking out of I am the one who punishes. If you see anybody like the jail superintendent or someone who is punishing, and is the king, the monarchical king, or the prime minister, chief minister, whoever those posts may be, understand that it is coming from me. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am the punishment. So who is supposed to receive punishment and when? And or for what reasons? That we'll look at some of that so that we can understand this point. And then the second one is Niti Asmi Jigishatam. And of those who seeks victory, I am morality. So this is not also ordinary morality. So that also will see what exactly when Krishna means morality, what it means. Because wherever there is a victory on the basis of religious principles, so we'll try to understand. We'll look at the examples of this victory in terms of Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna becoming victorious, Pandavas becoming victorious, and we'll look at some other examples also. That niti, morality. So Prabhupada gives various examples of what is morality. Means what is so-called morality and what is morality. Krishna speaking here, that from the Mahabharata and other example. Then the third one is Maunam Chaivasmi Gufyanam. So this is also out of secret things I am the silence. This silence doesn't mean again, it's not so-called Maunam. Maunam means silence, but here what it means is anything other than speaking Krishna. We should actually, it is Maunam in this sense means controlling the speech, urge of speech. So that is what here Krishna means. That is Krishna, not speaking unnecessarily. So that is Maunam in this case. Not that we keep silent. There are Mauni Babas who doesn't speak anything. If you ask question, then they may write on the slate or ask somebody. They will write, not speak anything. So that is the third aspect. We'll discuss that. Then the last one is Gnanam Gnanavatamaham. Now the wise I am the wisdom. So that also we'll see. That means the real knowledge. What is real knowledge? Wise means is there a distinction? One who can see the difference or distinction between matter and spirit. What is the gross body, what is subtle body, and what is spirit soul? What is the consciousness? Seeing the difference. So this way, these four lines are representing four things. Lord Krishna is mentioning that he is the empowering all these characteristics wherever you see. That means we have to understand that Lord Krishna, it is Lord Krishna's empowerment that one was able to come to the, one is able to see that because of the Lord Krishna's empowerment, one is able to become victorious, one is able to become speaking gravity with gravity, not speaking unnecessarily, or one is able to distinguish between matter and spirit, one is able to engage in activities which are under the injunctions as per injunctions of Shastra, and not avoiding the punishment. And so in this way, we have to understand. Now, first one, we have to look at here the punishment. So in Kaliya's case, so we have to Kaliya. So what is Kaliya represents? Then we'll go to the further detail. So Kaliya represents the Kaliya is a great snake. So he originally was also a demigod or sage. He became Kaliya. Why is that so? That must be understood. So Kaliya represents brutal cruelty, maliciousness, pride, envy, and a snake-like crookedness. So basically, one who tries to pour his poison into the hearts of the innocent Vaishnavas, which Krishna cannot tolerate. So then Lord kills, punishes, because Lord, especially when the devotees are being put into this kind of danger by someone like this consciousness, maliciousness, or pride, brutal cruelty, then that's when Lord Krishna punish. So, who is the Kaliya previously? According to Garga Samhita, or Acharya explained, Vishwanath Chakra to others. In last life, during Swayambhu Manu, beginning of creation, he was a sage named Vedasira, who was cursed for not allowing the sage Aswasira to meditate in this ashram. Sage means, first of all, he is meditating. That means he should be soft, he should be mild, he should be compassionate to others. But as soon as he was meditating in his own ashram, then when someone else, Aswasira, another sage, came at his place, and then he was also trying to meditate, and then immediately became angry. He couldn't control his urges. So that's when Aswasira sage cursed Vedasira that you are angry for no reason. You is just like a snake. You become a snake. That curse. Then the Lord is very compassionate. So Lord Vishnu appealed and told him that he would place his lotus feet on his head in that lifetime. So then Vedasura took birth with the first generation of great snakes to appear in this universe from Daksha's daughter Kadru. Daksha has 60 daughters. So Daksha has produced, he is one of the Prajapati. He produced almost 10,000 sons first time, were called Haryasvas, and then Narada Muni converted all of them into devotees. So he wanted all these 10,000 sons to produce children, produce population. That was Daksha's business. But then Narada Muni came there where they are meditating on Lord, performing severe austerities at Narayan Saras, I think close to Badrikashram. Then Narada Muni came there and saw, oh, they are nicely engaged in severe austerities and trying to meditate, trying to control this. They are the perfect candidates for devotion. So immediately talk to them. Why are you wasting life time in this meditation? So without having a higher goal, ultimate goal, then he told them about Krishna consciousness. Then they all became devotees. And Daksha was very upset. And then again, second time, he produced thousand of them, thousand sons. They are called Selvasvas. And then this time, Narada Muni again, oh, your brothers all did this, 10,000 of them. They all attained perfection. They all went back to Vaikuntha. Then why don't you follow that? So then again, second best. Then Dr. Prajapati immediately so upset because this is the past, because of past activities. Daksha acted inimically, enviously, with the pride against Lord Shiva. So that's when there was a great incident where Lord Shiva appears along with his associates, and then he is being killed. Daksha was killed, and then he is being put on with goat head because they went to Lord Brahma and asked for forgiveness and all that. Then, then Lord Shiva was pacified. Then he said, "All right, I'm going to revive him." Then they put goat head on his Daksha, and then he brought back to life. But still, lust, greed, anger is still there. He didn't fully remorse. He didn't fully repent. He didn't really uh, understand his grievous offense to Lord Shiva, and he didn't rectify it properly by submissively serving and following. Then what happened? That continued further. So that's how Prabhupada says and Acharya says in the purport of this incident, where this time he cursed Narada Muni. You will not stay at one place because I tried to procreate so many kids and you converted all of them into devotees. So this is not right. You cannot be called sage. So I am going to curse you. So that's how then there Acharyas explained that because of the previous atonement is not proper. He didn't submissively, he didn't repent enough. He didn't he didn't serve or seek forgiveness either fully. So then that's why he's able to again mentality to curse, to become offensive to a great such as exalted says Narada. So that's happened. So then, so this is a lot. That's why this reality, this mentality doesn't go away so easily. So Narada Muni here, so like that Kali, here Lord Vishnu appeared on the scene, and then yeah, Daksha's daughter I was talking about. So Daksha, in this case, two times it happened. Now what he did is became smart. He produced 60 daughters instead of sons now because another says he's going to come and make them devote them. It's a big problem. So 60 daughters he gave it to some of the 17 of them to Kashyap Muni. So Kashyap Muni has many wives, 17 of them. So each one of them produce different types of living entities. There are 9 types of living entities, starting with aquatics. When the universe started getting generated, so universe filled with half of the universe filled with water by Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu by sweat, just like from our sweat, small sweat comes. But from Lord Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, you can fill it half of the universe. He has the capacity. He is omniscient. He is omnipotent. He has the power. So that's why it starts with aquatics. Jalaja Navalakshanam Stavaran Laksham Kumayo Rudra Sanchayam Pasunam Dasalakshanam. So in this way the categories goes from aquatics all the way to human beings. There are 9 types of living entities. So some of the from Kasyapa's wife, I think Timi, he produced all these fish and various kind of aquatics. From Kasyapa's wife Kadru, all the snakes, different types of snakes appeared. So from Kasyapa's wife Venata, all the birds appeared. So like that. So that's why many of them, many living entities, many jivas, many human beings have Kashyapa Gotra, coming from the lineage of Kashyapa. Like there are many Prajapatis, but Kashyapa is one of the popular and famous. Because he has so many wives, he produced so many living entities. Means producing means it's not that he's creating the soul, he's just giving the body. Those who wants to enjoy separately from the Lord, they are entering into this material world. He is just giving the body for that soul to enter into this material world. That's all he's doing. So he's not the soul is always there. And that's what Kashyapa is doing, and Daksha is also doing. All these are Prajapatis who was able to procreate. Anyway, so the Dakshas, that's why in this verse it is mentioned, this Kaliya, whose Vedasira sage, appeared as Kaliya as a daughter of Kadru, a snake. So in that way he appeared. Now, so Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, or before that, so the Kaliya represent the brutality, cruelty. Lines. Your lines, yeah. Okay. Let me make it. Okay. So we are discussing about the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Opulence as Absolute in Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is speaking how is one of the opulences, how is the greatest punisher of those who doesn't follow the religious principles. So we are looking at the examples. One of them is Kaliya, punishment. So Lord Krishna subdued the serpent Kaliya and gave severe chastisement and punishment. So how did this happen? That the Kaliya, this great snake, so one time the Garuda. Garuda is another bird. Kashyapa Muni has many wives. One of them is Vinata. Vinatas had produced many birds. Garuda is the carrier of Lord Vishnu, associate of Lord Vishnu, great devotee. Even though he is a bird, he is not ordinary living entity. So then one of the sages, Saubari Muni, committed great offenses. Three offenses. Basically, he dared to give the order to his superior. So basically, Saubramuni ordered Garuda, you cannot come here anymore. You cannot come to this lake, this river, this ocean and eat the fishes. So that is the order he has given. But he cannot go because he cannot order superior. Garuda is a great devotee, is a carrier of Lord Vishnu. Saubramuni is not supposed to. He is supposed to control his senses. He is doing meditation. But he thought became proud. I have great austerity, great power. I can command all these fishes, seeing the compassion for the fish. That's a proper explain that. When one is so-called compassion does not tally with the order of Supreme, it is merely creates chaos. That's what happened in Saubramani's case. He was compassionate to the fishes, but he undermined the position of a devotee, Garuda. Rather he ordered him not to eat fish, not to come to that river or lake or ocean to eat fish. So that is the first offense for Saubramuni. Then not only further, and he obstructed from his eating his food, his happiness. That is the second offense. And not only that, next time Garuda came again to eat, then he immediately left. Then he understood. But when he came, then he immediately Saubramuni displayed anger towards Garuda. That was the third offense. Because of this third offense, he immediately, because the offenses are also different levels. One is using the mind, one is using the speech, and the another one is physical abuse, physical violence. That takes the highest precedence. And the violence is in the mind, it is not so much. Especially in Kali Yuga, mind, whatever people are thinking, it is not considered offense. But one who is using words, then that is considered to some extent in Shastra also. Especially one who is using physically, injuring others, then that immediately comes to precedence. Here, displayed anger, which means used his word, speech. So that considered as the greatest offense. In this way, three offenses. Because of that, Saumar Muni fell down. No more sage. He was attracted by male fish, female fish, producing procreation. He saw that he was meditating for many years, days, months, in under the lake, under the river, within the water, completely gone. Because of this offensive mentality to great devotee, so that sage became ordinary, conditioned soul. Immediately fell down from his position because of false pride, committed great offense, lost his power of austerity and spiritual beauty, and fell from the bliss of Brahman, and developed attachment and affection. Then he went to the king Mandata and asked for his daughters to marry him. He was so old and ugly. Then he said, I don't know, I can't. You go and ask if they want to marry you, I can give you. You can marry. Then he understood. Then he, using his mystic power, then he changed his form completely, became so beautiful. Then he went before his daughters, king's daughters, and all 50 of them became attracted, and all 50 of them married Sovereign. Later on, after many, many years of producing children and whatnot, then he understood, he realized, Sovereign realized, oh, what have I done? I wasted my life. Used to be great. I used to meditate on the Lord within the water. Now I see what has happened to me. And then he realized later on, because of his previous credits were there, he was prayed. That's he was not completely lost. Prabhupada says that he acquired a youthful body and married many beautiful princesses. Since he had once taken shelter of Yamuna river, he used to be within Yamuna river, he used to meditate. Because he has taken shelter of Yamuna river once, he was ultimately delivered. Even though in the middle he fell down because of his offense, because then he realized and repented, and since he has originally taken shelter of Yamuna and then performed devotional activities, so then finally he was delivered. So that was the Saubharamuni's case. Saubharamuni gave especially shelter to Kaliya, the snake. He said, don't worry, because snakes are afraid of Garuda. Garuda can eat snakes. So then that's when the Saubharamuni thought, I am proud, I can do what do you want. Oh, you want protection from Garuda? Don't worry, I'll take care. So that's how he became proud. He has given the assurance and he obstructed Garuda, and then the result is then he has to suffer the consequences to enter into that attractive. And marry and then finally realize. So now about Kaliya further. So then Kaliya, from there he entered, because Garuda now no more is not coming anymore because of Sobramuni's curse. He took it seriously. Then this Kaliya snake, seeing this, he was also became proud. Then he entered in this Yamuna river. Yamuna river is actually drinking water, and all the court boys used to play. Lord Krishna used to play on the bank of Yamuna. So many pastimes Lord Krishna performed, and then all the Vrindavan Brajavasis used to come and fetch the water and use that water and everything. And so many living entities used to be there. The bird, the aquatics, all of them, because of Kali entered, so much poisonous. This is 1,000-hooded. It explained that Acharya said, Kaliya snake is not ordinary snake. 1,000 hoods it has, not even one or two. So then he created a great havoc. He entered into that area. It is mentioned that Yamuna river is big and it has different divisions in the Yamuna river. So this Kaliya entered in a place, it is called Kaliya Hruda. Even now, when you go to Vrindavan, this place is there, Kaliya Hruda. It is 8 miles radius, that particular Yamuna divided in that area. It is called Kaliya Hruda, where one tree is only there. Because of his poisonous vapors, whoever coming close, even getting in touch, that even some of the water droplets, then because of his poisonous, all the living entities been killed. Anybody even flying over there or coming close because of his poisonous, severe poison, everybody was killed. So then Lord Krishna, understanding this, because he's creating great havoc for the Brajavasis, Vrindavanvasis, the living entities in Vrindavan, then he wanted to give punishment. So Lord wanted to give punishment. So then where the Bhakti Siddhanta talked, where then there was a great fight between Kaliya. So initially he was so proud. Still when Lord Krishna came as cowherd boy and saw that Kaliya has created great havoc, he entered into the waters of there it is explained that only one tree was remaining. Everything else was killed on the bank of the Hruda, Kaliya Hruda, except one Kadamba tree. Kadamba tree generally is famous because of Lord Krishna. So Kadamba tree is mentioned that one time Garuda was staying there. Garuda took rest, Garuda staying. Because of that, Garuda's mercy, the nectar was there. So Kadamba tree didn't get burned because of poison of Kaliya, snake. And not only that, Lord Krishna is going to perform his act. So he jumped on this tree, and from there, Lord Krishna jumped into this Yamuna river. Kaliya Hrida, where Kaliya was there. Then immediately Kaliya became so much proud that who can enter into my water and create a great disturbance? How dare? Then started, he immediately opened all the 1,000 hoods, started and tried to capture. And it captured. Lord Krishna acted. He wanted to perform pastimes. And the meantime, Nanda Maharaj and all the cohort boys came and saw, and completely they became unconscious. Then some of the cohort boys want to enter into this Yamuna river to protect, because they couldn't see Lord Krishna being in the grips and the coils of Kaliya. So that was the incident. Then obviously realizing Lord Krishna, seeing all the cohort boys are completely became unconscious and afraid what's happening in their consciousness. Immediately Lord Krishna started attacking and giving great punishment to Kaliya, started dancing on Kaliya, where the Lord Krishna's beauty has been explained by the cohort boys, especially the Nagapatnis. The Kaliya has many wives. Now they are called Nagapatnis. So they offered beautiful prayers. They're describing the beauty of Lord Krishna, in which the way he was dancing, the way he dressed himself, and then 1,000 hoods, he was so proud. So Lord Krishna started dancing, and so vigorously and so fast. He was jumping on all these hoods, 1,000. Each time he used to open the hood and immediately used to pound with his lotus feet on the hood, such that out of 1,000, only 10 heads remained. All the other heads completely became weak, because Lord Krishna jumping, imagine, the Supreme Personality was so powerful, so heavy weight, even though he looks small as cold boy, but Lord Krishna can immediately exhibit all the power and strength, whatever he wants, by his Kriya Shakti, so by his Swarup Shakti. So that's what happened. So then finally, the Nagapatnis started praying to the Lord, please shower your mercy on Kaliya, that please forgive his ignorance. He is so proud. So by their prayers, then Lord Krishna showered mercy, and finally, Kaliya also came to his senses. Then he surrendered to Lord Krishna. Then the instruction, Acharya explained that finally, when he let go, he's not been told that, okay, now okay, you are relinquished of your offense, I forgive you, but still he cannot stay in Yamuna, he cannot stay in Vrindavan. So the Yamuna, you have to stay in other place, where he's been sent to Fiji. The Fiji island, even now it is there. There, some of the devotees saw a snake, Kaliya snake. So that it went to Fiji, this Kaliya snake. So now the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada spiritual master explains that Kaliya represents cunning, malice, unrelenting cruelty. Kaliya's wife prayed for his mercy on Kaliya. So banishment of Kaliya from Lake of Yamuna has most important significance. Those who have a purpose to create a trouble against the pure devotees of Lord Krishna by infecting the devotees with their own malicious disposition meet with certain degree of initial success in their nefarious undertaking. This emboldens them to make a direct attack on Krishna himself. Service of Krishna is also never available to those whose cunning is employed. Those with cunning, unrelenting cruelty, never allowed to associate with servants of Krishna, even after they forego all their malice towards them. They are eternally debarred from the service of Krishna. So that's why Kaliya, because of his enviousness, because of his cruelty, because of great havoc, great disturbance to the devotees or living entities of Vrindavan, Brajadam. So all the birds and all the living entities. So that's why this punishment was given. Even though he's been relieved of his offense, but still the punishment was given to not. He cannot be in Vrindavan anymore. He cannot be in service of his pure devotees. So that's why he's been sent to Fiji. So this is one instruction. So where Lord Krishna's beauty has been explained in about when Lord Krishna was fighting with Kaliya. Kaliya saw that Sri Krishna, who wore yellow silken garments, was very delicate. His attractive body shining like a glowing white cloud, his chest bearing the mark of Srivatsa, his face smiling beautifully, and his feet resembling the oval of a lotus. flower. The Lord was playing fearlessly in the water. Despite his wonderful appearance, the envious Kaliya furiously bit him on the chest and then completely enwrapped him in his coils. That's when the coward boys became unconscious. Tam prekshaniya sukumara ganavadatam श्रीवत्स पीत वसनम स्मित सुंदरास्यम क्रीडंतम अप्रति भयम कमलोदरांग्रिम संदस्य मर्मसु रुषा भुजया चहाड़. He enveloped with his coils in the center and then he beat him. Sandasya marmasu means rusa, with his great enviousness. So beautiful they are, but all the court boys were able to see the beautiful Lord. So when this fighting was going on, the three inauspicious signs were appeared when this because when Lord Krishna was in the coils of Kaliya. One is the earth, sky, and inauspicious signs appear. Earth, sky, bodies of living creatures, earthquakes, meteors falling, shivering in the bodies of men, and twitching of left eye. So these were the three inauspicious signs appeared when Lord Krishna was in the great danger. But Balaram was laughing. So Balaram is called Madhava because he is the master of intelligence. He is the one who gives spiritual strength and spiritual intelligence to living entities. So that's why he is the master. So Balaram was laughing. And then he stopped all the coward boys not to enter into this Yamuna river because he knows the strength of the Supreme Lord. He is the elder brother of the Supreme Lord. So where it is explained that Madhava means Dava means master, Ma means and intelligence. So since he is the master of intelligence, he understood that Lord Krishna desired to cover his opulence with his Leela Shakti. Therefore, Balaram prevented Nanda and others drowning themselves in Yamuna. Balaram was laughing because Lord Krishna never cares to play with me sarcastically saying, never plays with me in my form of Seshanag, but now he is playing with this common mundane snake. Lord Balaram, that's why he's smiling. So, but by the smile of Lord Balaram, the Brajavasis forgot their lamentation and fear. So, in this way, we can understand that there also, when the cowherd boys were walking to this Yamuna river, they are searching for Lord Krishna. They were looking for Lord Krishna. Then they saw the footprints, cow's footprints and another footprints. But they followed the Lord Krishna's footprints, where they saw lotus flower, barley corn, elephant goat, thunderbolt, flag, all these marks in the feet of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. There are different marks, 19 or 22 marks in the foot. So by seeing that, where the acharyas explain that this is one must reject the illusory path and accept the path of the Vedas in the pursuance of the absolute truth. So that's what cohort boys rejected the signs, footprints of cows, and rather accepted the Lord Krishna's footprints and followed, and finally they are able to come to Yamuna river. They could find that Lord Krishna is personally there. And this way the instruction for us is not become malice, especially and cruel, or injure other living entities, especially the devotees, especially. One who is pure devotee of the Lord, one must be very careful because they are the dearmost to the Lord, as Krishna is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita. Samoham sarva bhuteshu na dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti te mam bhaktya aham teshu te chapyaham. So they are the dearmost. I am equal to all. I am not partial to anybody. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. All living entities. I am not partial to anyone. I am equal to all. Same time, Samoham sarva na dveshya nasti na priya. No one is dear, no one is envious. But my pure devotees, ye bhajanti devamam bhaktya. One who is worshipping me, one who is constantly thinking of me, they are the dearmost to me. I am in their heart. Teshu chapyaham. I forget the last line exact. But they are in me and I am in them. They are thinking of me and I am thinking of them. So they know only me and I only know them. Krishna is mentioning this in so many places. We'll discuss the glories of Bhakta Bhagavat, the position of a devotee. So glories of a devotee, Bhakta Bhagavat, in 2-3 sessions separately. It's because it's so many instances Lord Krishna explaining, glorifying the position of devotees throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, even Bhagavad Gita also. So that's why that is a separate topic in itself. We'll discuss that separately. Anyway, so that is the first lesson, that one should not give pain to other living and any living entity for that matter, but especially to not avoid at most giving pain or injure or being cruel to devotees especially. So that we should avoid. So we'll see that in Indra's case also. Indra became the same. Indra tried to punish the living entities of Vrindavan, trying to pour so much rain, create a great havoc. There also it is mentioned. Engrossed in pride over by ruling power, ignorant of your majesty, I offended you. Indra is submitting, repenting. But there also there is a lesson. Indra fully didn't repent. That's why you'll see that fighting again, second time. Just happened incident. Indra took Sorobi cow because Brahma told he cannot go with this kind of attitude because you have created great havoc. 7 days you continuously put rain to Brajvasis, and Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan hill and brought all of them under his shelter. And so now you cannot go by yourself because you created a great blunder. You did a great blunder. So then Lord Brahma told, you take Sorobi cow. Because Lord Krishna is very much attached to cows. Then he will be pacified. So that's what he did. Then he offered this is called Govinda Kund. If you go to Vrindavan, that place is there, where Indra offered his prayers. Indra offered Abhishek, did Abhishek to Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna is called Govinda. He is the pleasure giving to cows and to the senses of his pure devotees. That's why it's called Govinda. So Govinda Kund, where Lord Indra performed with Surabhi cow was pouring that milk and Abhishek, the famous place. And so there now Indra is submitting. Egoism is pride over by, engrossed in pride over my ruling power, ignorant of your majesty, I offended you. O Lord, may you forgive me. My intelligence was bewildered, but left my consciousness never again be so impure. But let my consciousness never again be so impure. He's praying, he's repenting. That there, Prabhupada explains. Although Lord Krishna protected the residents of Raja by lifting Govardhan hill, he had not yet punished Indra himself. And Indra feared that at any moment Sri Krishna might call the son of Vivaswan, Emerald, who punishes impudent persons who defy the laws of God. This is the first line. Dando Damayatam Asmi. Krishna is mentioning that is what it means. Who will be punishable? One who transgresses the rules of given by the God. Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Just like the who can create the rules of the state government, central government? Only the government can create. Can a living entity, an ordinary citizen can create? No, he cannot create. Only that government has authority to create, come up with the rules and put it in place. So, same way, the rules of the engagement of the living entities in this material world only given by, it has to be ordered by Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru, as well Lord Krishna himself gives. That's why Dharmantu Bhagavat Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam, given by the Lord. And that will know to Sadhu and Shastra to understand what those are. Even though Lord Krishna person is speaking in many places in Bhagavad Gita, in other places in Upanishad, where Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu spoke different times, different places, different pastimes when he appeared. So, but still, we cannot understand. So that's why Sadhu has to speak, pure devotee has to speak. Then we can understand better. So now that's why here Prabhupada is making that point that Indra feared. Now Lord Krishna didn't give punishment. So now he's fearing, Indra is fearing. Oh, that means if I'm not getting punishment, that means I may tend to act in the same way again. So that he is telling. Although Lord Krishna protected the residents of Raja by lifting Govardhan hill, he had not yet punished Indra himself. The Indra feared that any moment Sri Krishna might call the son of Vivaswan, Emerald, who punishes impudent persons who defy the laws of God. So Indra was quite fearful, thus begged the Lord's forgiveness on the plea that he could be purified only by Krishna's mercy, that he was too stubborn to learn a good lesson, though through mere punishment. In fact, despite Indra's humility in this case, his heart was not completely purified. Later on in this canto, we find that when Lord Krishna once took a parijata flower from Indra's kingdom, Poor Indra again reacted violently against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, we should aspire to go back to our eternal home in the kingdom of Krishna and should not become entangled in the imperfect life of the material gods. So that we have to understand. So the demigods are also above us, empowered, but they can also become conditioned. So that's why in Srimad Bhagavatam we discussed many times. Lord Krishna, Vasudev, son of Lord Krishna's father, Vasudev is discussing with Narada Muni. He wants to hear the glorification of Supreme Lord. There is explaining that about the position of the demigod. Bhajantu eta devan, devapi tataiva tam. Then he's telling that sadhavo dina vatsala. So the demigods can only give chayeva karma sachiva sadhavo dena vatsala. The demigods can only give what the living entity as karma, pious credit. Accordingly, only they can give to that level on what they are praying for and what credit they have. Chayeva karma sachiva. But when it comes to the devotee of the Lord, pure devotee, sadhavos dena vatsala. They are compassionate, they can give. Liberation, they can give Krishna prema. Because they are pure devotees, they are carrying Lord Krishna in their heart. They can give, but the demigods cannot give. And Krishna himself is telling in Bhagavad Gita, Antavattu phalam tesham tat bhavati alpamedasam. So further is mentioned a few verses from chapter 7, verse number 23 onward, 20 till 24 or 25. 3-4 verses Krishna is speaking that the results will be temporary. They cannot purify your desire. You can approach demigod, they will give fulfill your desire to the extent you have the pious credit. But that also has to be approved by the Supreme Paramatma. Paramatma is there even in demigods. They are not independent. Demigods are not independent. That also has to be approved by Supreme Lord. So that's why in the further verses, Krishna is mentioning that Apaurushaya, one who is approaching, worshipping demigod, because I am the one who is giving. If somebody asks you where is your nose, then instead of showing this side, you are showing from other side, which means indirectly. You can directly worship me, but rather you are indirectly worshiping because even I am the one who is giving them also permission to grant even the boons, whatever you are asking them, because they are not independent. So that is the position of the demon. That's why here Indra has been told here in this case specifically. He didn't learn a lesson. He started fighting again with Lord Krishna. It is the whole thing belongs to Lord Krishna, and he forgot. He just got his lesson, but still he didn't learn. Again, he acted in the same way. So that's why we have to be careful. So further now, where further we will see that the example of in Ajamil's case where Vrindavan Vasis already 8 to 2. I thought that's why I took only one verse and we haven't even covered. Okay, let's quickly go through it. So what is the process of punishing others? This is a conversation between Yamaraj and Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas in Ajamil's case. Vishnu Dutas appeared because he has chanted the holy name, he performed the devotional activity before, so that's why he was saved. There it is explained that 6.139 Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the process of punishing others? Who are the actual candidates for punishment? Are all karmis engaged in fruitive activity punishable, or only some of them? There, then Yamadutas explaining. One who has the power to punish others should not punish everyone. There are innumerable living entities, majority of whom are in the spiritual world and are Nitya Mukta, everlastingly liberated. There is no question of judging these liberated living beings. Only a small fraction of living entities, perhaps 1/4, are in the material world. And the major portion of the living entities in the material world, 8 million species, are lower than human beings. So they are not punishable for under the laws of material nature because they are animals, they are birds, they are aquatics. What they can, they don't know. They don't have higher intelligence. They cannot be punished. So who can be punished then? Human beings, 400,000 of them, 400,000 types of them, they are punishable. Human beings who are advanced in consciousness are responsible, but not all of them are punishable. Those who engage in advanced pious activities are beyond punishment. Only those who engage in sinful activities are punishable. Therefore, the Vishnu Dutas particularly inquired about who is punishable. Now, why Yamaraj has been designated to discriminate between who is punishable and who is not. How is one to be judged? What is a basic principle of authority? So these are the questions raised by Vishnudutas. Then the Yamaduta replies, Yamaduta Uju, Veda pranihito dharmo, I adharmastad viparya, Vedo narayana sakshat swayambhur iti sushruma. Then Yamaduta replied, that which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes dharma, the religious principle, and the opposite of that is irreligion. The Vedas are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, and are self-born. This we have heard from Yamaraj. So they are explained basically because these Vedas are coming from Supreme Lord Narayana's mouth, Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu's mouth. There, Prabhupada quotes that verse. Asya mahato bhutasya niswasitam. Niswasam means exhaling, inhaling. Etad yad Rigveda iti. The injunctions of Dharma emanate from the breathing of Lord Narayan, the Supreme Living Entity. So that's why if somebody asks you, what do you know? How do you know that Vedas? How can you say that Vedas are the authentic Vedas you can follow? Why? How can you not be say that it is mythology? No, it is authentic because it is given the so many places, so many Puranas from Acharyas, Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru explaining and then quoting here, especially the words, these Vedas are coming from the mouth of the Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu. So, because the whole details are given, how this material world is created, so how this three Purusha avatars, the whole 9 yards, everything is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why you cannot deny things, because the Dwaraka was there in previously, in previous Yuga. Even now they are able to find Dwaraka. So that's why all these are explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So you can see that in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, general history is given. Who's going to rule in the beginning of Kali Yuga? Who's going to rule further? Who's going to rule at the end? How Lord will appear as Lord Kalki at the end of Kali Yuga? All these are details are given. If these details are not given, if these things are not happening, then you can say mythology. If things are happening exactly what is mentioned, then how can you say mythology? So that's why we have to. You can rely on someone who's giving the real truth. If things are happening, if somebody is not able to prove, then you can say mythology. If something is proved again and again repeatedly, and the others don't even have evidence, the others are not able to prove that the soul, the life is produced from the matter. Life is produced from the life only. Nobody can produce a one living entity, even an ant, even a mosquito. So it is only illusory theories, scientific theories, but no real science behind it, real truth behind it. So that's why we have to believe what Shastra is telling, what sadhus are telling, based on the this. That's why it's called Sanatana Dharma. So that's what we have to understand. Who is punishable? One who is following against scriptural injunctions, then they are punished. So that's why it is explained that Ajamila has already atoned for all his sinful actions. I am he kruta nirvesho janma koti amasam api yad vijahara visvaso nama swasti ayam hare. Because he has chanted the holy name of the Lord when he is helpless, he chanted the holy name because he immediately remembered his son, lost son Narayana. Then immediately he remembered Lord Vishnu's name immediately. Even though he did not chant purely, he chanted without offense, and therefore he is now pure and eligible for liberation. So he cannot be punished. So you don't know what to punish, on what basis you have to punish. That's why they're asking Vishnu Dutas, asking Yamadutas. Sarkad vicharitam yena haririti aksharadvayam baddha parikarastena mokshaya gamanam prati. By once chanting the holy name of the Lord, which consists of the two syllables ha, ri, one guarantees his path to liberation from Skanda Purana. So this is what we understand. Means who can be punished? Only those who are not following the religious principles, injunctions of Shastra. Then they can be punished. Now the second aspect, we have to quickly go into it already. Second aspect is morality. So what is morality? One, when someone can become victorious, when follows again the same scriptural injunctions, Lord Krishna's instructions, as Arjuna is describing at the end, Sanjay is describing rather. Etra yogestra Krishna, etra paddo dhanudhara, tatra srir vijayo bhutir dhruva nidir matir mama. Wherever Lord Krishna is there, wherever Arjuna is there, is a devotee, great devotee, there will certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, morality. That is my opinion. Sanjay is speaking. So further, even Sonaka is inquiring about this punishment. Also, there also it is mentioned. What is this morality? Not so-called morality. The Prabhupada explained that Let's say that if there is an epidemic, there is a infection, then what you will do? So what is the necessary? First thing is how to disinfect the epidemic. In the infected area, you cannot derive any benefit by discussing morality or immortality. The man is dying out of infection. So to immediately dying person who is sure to die due to infection, what is the use of giving him instruction on morality or immorality? He is going to die. So one must give the instruction of Krishna Katha. Krishna Kathasrayam. That's what Sonakumani is asking. Why did Maharaj Parikshit simply punish him? Since he was the lowest of the Sudras, this Kali personified when he appeared. And he beated the bull. 3 legs were broken and he was crying. So then that time Maharaj Parikshit was about to punish him. So then this is why the Sonaka and other rishis are asking. So having dressed as a king and having struck a cow on the leg, please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Krishna. So they are proposed making this point. Yet Krishna Katha Ashram, devotees are interested to discuss something. If it is helping us, how we can become more and more attached to Krishna. This is what is actually morality, not so-called morality. So-called morality of no use. Thus, being petitioned by personality of Kali, giving him permission to reside in. So the what is impious? What is who is going to be punished? That the Kali is being told to stay in these places. When Kali appeared, Maharaj Parikshit, because Kali surrendered, don't punish me. I also need the place to stay. When he surrendered, okay, all right. He left him. He didn't punish him. Then he told, you can only stay where. This is what is really. Where there is a gambling, where there is a drinking, where there is prostitution, where there is animal slaughter, that's where you can stay. Then he found out that there is no place in his kingdom, these things are there. Then he told, then I don't have place. Then he told, okay, where there is gold, that's where you stay. So that's when Kali was entered into the gold. So that's why gold is not so good to keep unless you are using it for Krishna service. So that is the instruction from morality. So we're getting now the next point is next third aspect is about the silence, mauna. There also the same aspect. We see that Prabhupada explains this is in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself is explaining. Mana prasada saumyaptam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samsuddhir iti etat tapo manasam uchyate. That satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, mauna means gravity, self-control, purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. To make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification. It should be so trained that it can be always thinking of doing good for others. The best training for the mind is gravity in thought. One should not deviate from Krishna consciousness, must always avoid sense gratification. To purify one's nature is to become Krishna conscious. Satisfaction as mind can be obtained only by taking the mind away from the thoughts of sense enjoyment. More we think of sense enjoyment, the more mind becomes dissatisfied. In the present age, we unnecessarily engage the mind in so many different ways for sense gratification. So there is no possibility of the mind becoming satisfied. The best course is to divert the mind in Vedic literature, which is full of satisfying stories, as in the Puranas, Mahabharata. One can take advantage of this knowledge and thus become purified. Mind should be devoid of duplicity. One should think of welfare of all. Silence means that one is always thinking of self-realization. The person in Krishna consciousness observes the perfect silence in this sense. Control of the mind means detaching the mind from sense enjoyment. One should be straightforward in his dealings and thereby purify his existence. All these qualities together constitute austerity in mental activities. Further, Prabhupada explains in Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, Prahlad Maharaj telling, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are 10 prescribed methods on path to liberation. To remain silent, not to speak to anyone, to observe vows, to amass all kinds of Vedic knowledge, to undergo austerities, to study the Vedas and other Vedic, to execute the duties of Varnashram Dharma, to explain the Shastras, to stay in a solitary place, to chant mantras silently, and to be absorbed in trance. These different methods of liberation are generally only a professional practice and means of livelihood for those who have not conquered their senses. Because such persons are falsely proud, these procedures may not be successful. They are Prabhupada making point. Mauna, for example, does not mean that one should just stop speaking. The tongue is meant for speaking. Although sometimes to make a big show, person remains silent. There are many who observe silence some day in a week. Vaishnavas, however, do not observe such silence. Silence means not speaking foolishly. Speakers at assemblies, conferences, and meetings generally speak foolishly like trots, means croaking like a frog. This is described by Rupa Goswami as Vacho Vegam. One who wants to say something can show himself to be a big orator. But rather than go on speaking nonsense, better to remain silent. This method of silence, therefore, is recommended for persons very much attached to speaking nonsense. One who is not a devotee must speak nonsensically because he does not have the power to speak about the glories of Krishna. Thus, whatever he says is influenced by the illusory energy and is compared to the croaking of frog. One who speaks about the glories of the Lord, however, has no need to be silent. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends Kirtaniya Sadahari. One should go on chanting the glories of the Lord 24 hours a day. There is no question of becoming a mauna or silent. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I don't want to follow all these things. My duty, because I don't want to become Mauni Babas. There, and Prahlad Maharaj quoting. He's praying to Lord Narsingadev. नैवोद्विजे परदुरत्या वैतरण्य तद्वीर्य गायन महामृत मग्न चित्त सोचे तथो विमुखत चेतस इंद्रियार्ध माया सुखाय परम बद्धवतो विमूढ़न. O Lord Nrsimhadev, best of the great person, I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their societies and countries and whatnot. I am simply concerned with love for them. So that's why. Prahlad Maharaj is not concerned about go in a place meditating or staying in a separately, so giving up the whole family and renouncing everything, go to forest. That Prahlad Maharaj is not recommending. I don't want to liberate myself. I want to help. My spiritual master has given so much mercy to me, and not only within the womb of Mother Kayadu, Hiranyakashipu's wife. So how can I become selfish and just deliver myself and sit at one place lonely and chant and meditate on myself? No, I cannot do that. That's not my purpose. I'm not a Bhajana Anandi. I'm Goshti Anandi. I want to give compassionately, distribute whatever I have learned from my spiritual master. Let me distribute. I don't ask me to come back to your eternal place, Vaikuntha. So don't do a business with me. I'm not here to accept the business. I'm not here to accept any blessings. Give blessings that so that I can actually help my spiritual master. Let me be immersed in that. That is what Prahlad Maharaj is praying. So beautiful prayer. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is repeatedly discussing about Prahlad Maharaj's Katha, because this is the consciousness one must have. One must always try to help others, not just simply thinking themselves, me, always me, self-centered. We should be more try to help others, and whatever we are learning, whatever we have, share it with others. Be compassionate, be merciful. So that's what Prahlad Maharaj is teaching us. Mauni doesn't mean silent. Doesn't mean that we are always silent. We are not sharing with anybody else what we are learning. So that's not what it is. In silence here means don't speak unnecessarily, unwanted things. So that's what it means. And the last one is the one who's defining matter and spirit, the wise, where Prabhupada, so Muni, again the silent also means Prabhupada explains Kunti Maharani's prayers, where Kunti Maharani is saying, Tata Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidanardham Katam Pasyemahi Striya. This is for the last one, the wise. Who is wise? Who is Paramahamsa? Who is Muni? What are their quality? Amalatmana. They are able to distinguish between matter and spirit. They are able to know what is gross body, what is subtle body, what is spirit soul. They are able to see what is the actual real position of the living entity. They are not just dead bodies. They are have spark. They have consciousness. They are able to distinguish that, and they are able to operate practically, not just theory. So that's why I called Kunti Maharani is praying that. Why did Lord Krishna appear? Lord Krishna specifically appeared to propagate the transcendental science of devotion service onto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Kunti Maharani is praying in that way. So unless one fully realizes that he is not the body, but is the spirit soul, there is no question of his becoming Harijan. Those who do not follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and disciplic succession cannot distinguish between matter and spirit. Therefore, all their ideas have been mixed up hodgepodge of problems. They are virtually lost in the bewildering network of Maya Devi. That is what it is. So that's why one must follow the injunctions of Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, instructions of the great acharyas. So in this way, we should understand the glories and opulence of Lord Krishna describing here. How, when one can be punished, what does it mean to be danda, given punishment? And then what does it mean to be silent? Means gravity. Use carefully our speech, our tongue. And then what does it mean by wise? Wise means one who is able to discriminate with matter and spirit. What is consciousness is not simply attached with the gross body. In this way, we can understand the opulence of Lord Krishna. So, so through these examples, Lord is teaching us and morality. Morality means there is not like the another example is Pandavas. Yudhishthira Maharaj was even Arjuna in the beginning of chapter 1 is giving so-called morality. I don't want to fight because of comparison. I don't want to fight because of no enjoyment. I don't want to fight because of destruction of energy. In this way, so many. All these are based on the Dharma Shastras. There are 20 Dharma Niti Shastras. But that is not the highest precedence is what is Krishna describing in Bhagavad Gita. This is the essence of all the Vedas. That takes precedence. Then Krishna chastised him. All these are anarya. Give up all this weakness. Go above. You forgot your duty. Perform your duty. So, based on scriptures, especially I am instructing you to fight. You should perform what I am instructing. You should do because that is Shastra instruction. If you neglect your duty, then you will go to hell. You must perform your duty. Swadharma neganam sreya paradharma bhayava. It is dangerous to perform somebody else's job. So do your duty. Understand what is your qualities, what is your strength is. Don't compare with other. Don't try to take somebody else's duty. So that is what is the instruction. So that's why we have to be understand this morality. The same thing Yudhishthira Maharaj also did later on. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "No, I am very truthful. I am Yudhishthira. I cannot tell a lie." Then Lord Krishna told Ashwadhama Kunjara, "You have to tell." Then he was hesitated. Then then that's when he has to see the hell for a few fraction of seconds because Yudhishthira Maharaj didn't follow what Lord Krishna told. Because whatever Lord tells, even seemingly, externally seemingly a lie, but it is not so. Whatever Krishna, whatever Lord says, that we have to follow. Because Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Whatever Lord says, that is truth. There is no falsity in it. So since he tried to become so-called morality, he tried to follow the rules, then he had to see the hell for that, violating the Lord's instruction. So that's why we have to get these, understand these aspects in a little bit detail and apply it on daily basis. So not just think it as opulence, but what does it mean? How we can apply on daily basis has to be understood in detail. So we are done. Any questions anyone has, you can ask. You are unmuted. If not, we will end.